Hey, how's it going? I believe we're live right now. I'll just hit my little play button over here. I'm recording and all that good stuff. How's it going? It is Nate Mumford once again, Director of Sales Engineering here at RCS. Bunkered down in Danbury, Connecticut. It is a cold, wet Thursday for today's Facebook Live. As you know, as always, we're doing questions and answers in the time of remote workflows. So I thought for today, I don't know if you caught this on Tuesday, but we had John Bono, Assistant G-Selector Product Manager, on with us, and he was talking everything about G-Selector and Selector to Go. So I thought that for today, good morning, Di. I thought that for today, we would simply go and talk about Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery, talk about some Zetta to Go stuff, and take more of an automation approach to things for today. If you want to take this in any direction you want, obviously you can. This is an open session. Get your questions in. I'll give you some answers. You can comment below and all that good stuff. Of course, you can always email us live at rcsworks.com. We've also found that it's usually pretty easy and convenient to just direct message us as well. I can answer you through there too if you wanted to. Getting some housekeeping out of the way as I stall for some more viewers. Don't forget, we are doing this every single week, twice a week. We have probably, I'm going to assume that we'll do probably next Monday is going to be the next Facebook Live. I don't really have any topics just yet, but I'll think of something probably after this is over. So we'll probably do it on Monday. I'll figure out a time as well, and we'll do a Facebook invite for that so you'll know exactly what time we're doing that. And of course, as always, every Thursday at 11 a.m., we're doing our Facebook Live with open session question and answers for your remote workflows. We can talk about any RCS product you want. That includes legacy products like Selector, Next Gen. We can talk about iPush, RCS Remote. Those are free Apple apps that we have in the App Store for you to control Next Gen. We also have Next Gen Remote Studio packages, Zetta Remote Studio packages, as well as Zetta to Go, Selector to Go, Acquirer to Go, and all of that good stuff. So if you got any questions, feel free to comment below, as I said. One thing I wanted to mention as well before I forget, we were talking about beta users. Obviously, we're well aware that it's kind of a little stressful times these days, but we do have two new versions of Zetta, and that is Zetta 5.20.1, as well as G-Selector 4.8.1 as well, which are kind of two nice enhancement versions. Sorry, G-Selector 4, is it 4.9.0? I think it's 4.9.0. We've been relabeling things. There's a lot of numbers for me to memorize. Either way, if you want to be a beta tester, there's lots of really, really cool features in Zetta 5.20.1. We're pretty excited about it. It's definitely one of those versions. We were supposed to, funny enough, I think I was supposed to be, is this week? It's supposed to be NAB week? I know that on my Facebook, I was live at NAB last year. And so we were going to announce this year, pretty much talking about Zetta 5.20.1 and talking about all the new features and enhancements and all of that good stuff. It very much is one of our kind of scaled versions, so to speak, in regards to that under the hood. We did a lot of improvements, some flexibility, some scalability, and all of that good stuff. A lot of features with site replication and all of that. So it's going to be a really, really cool. April 20th was NAB. Thank you. So it's just that my Facebook feed, this time last year I was talking for 10 hours at a time. And so, yes, if you got any questions, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, we're kind of get right into it. Again, if you're interested in being a beta tester, if you want to kind of start the conversation right now, there's a lot of great benefits for you. You get the latest and greatest, obviously, Zetta software. You get a one-on-one technical support person to help you through the beta process. And you help us out here at RCS as well. So it's a really cool to get the latest and greatest features in Zetta. So if you're interested on that, let us know. Thank you, Doc. We're talking about NAV. If you're interested in doing a beta program, let me know. We'll help you and get you started with the process, and then we can go down that road when things kind of clear and the dust settles, so to speak. Don't forget, as I said, we do this twice a week. Probably do it next Monday. Probably do it Thursday at 11 a.m. as always. I have some really cool topics lined up. I have a very, very special guest to let you know about when we tease it. We're really excited for this too. So I got a special guest coming, I believe, next week. That is my teaser for today. and trying to think any kind of other housekeeping, maintenance stuff. Did I forget anything? Let me know that I can poke in there. So I thought for today, so obviously we have the line of to-go products, right? That is Zetta To Go, that is Acquirer To Go, and Selector To Go. All of those, respectively, those to-go products, actually reside kind of based on the server. So for whatever reason, if your Zetta, your Zetta server crashes for whatever reason, I'm talking the hardware, the physical machine dies. Obviously, Zetta To Go also will die because it's connected to the Zetta file server. Same thing with Selector To Go. If the G-Selector server is down for whatever reason, Selector To Go also won't work. Which brings us to the question, what do we do to have safe and reliable backups in today's crazy world? And case in point, I have 2 clients of mine that I know got hit with ransomware just over the weekend and the week before. I feel awful for them. I reached out and said, anything I can do, let me know what I can do to help out. But obviously, it's the reality is that even though we have all this corona going around us, it doesn't mean that this cryptoware and ransomware or servers dying, hardware failing, fans stop spinning. The world will continue to turn. And so we still have to talk about the conversation of what are we going to do in regards to backups, secure, efficient, and automatic backups. And for that, we have our Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. It's the RCS Cloud. We've always been joking the first phase of RCS Cloud is Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. And what does that mean? It essentially means that we have Zetta Cloud. It is written for and on Amazon Web Services, AWS. It is not a VM somewhere in the cloud. It truly is written for Amazon Web Services, and we follow the best practices for coding as well as security as well. And what that means is that all of your metadata, your audio, your logs, your SQL backups from Zetta all get sent to the cloud, right? And because we have Amazon Web Services, they know that they're safely secured there in the cloud. Think of Zetta Cloud as its own individual market. Okay? Think of Zetta Cloud as essentially, if I have, again, I'm from Connecticut right here, but our office is over just about 30 minutes away in New York. And so for me personally, I'll just say I have 2 markets. I have my New York market and my Connecticut market. But this could also be California, if you have one there. And what happens is those are all individual sites. They have their own Zetta servers, their own stations, their own production machines, all of that good stuff. We have what we call site replication. And what site replication does is it takes all of those markets and it syncs them together. So if I create an asset in one, it's sent and shared to the other markets. So when we have Zetta Cloud, we're really interpreting Zetta Cloud as being essentially its own market. Instead of just being east-west, it's kind of north. It's above us, which is a very powerful tool because you can essentially, it's an isolated environment. It's different, but you're still sharing all of your assets. Before I forget, I have a graph here. I'm going to pull this up while I'm talking to you. Again, questions, feel free to comment on them. We're doing Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery, but if there's something that you want covered, let me know, and I can definitely dive in and show you how to do all those cool things. So I just want to show you here kind of a graph of what it looks like in regards to Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery and how it works. You might have seen this on previous videos of mine that we've done. Of course, we've been filming and recording all these Facebook Live sessions. So if you missed something, you want to go back and view it, we have the videos online for you at rcsworks.com. We also have here on our Facebook page, the video section. That's there too. So I want to show this to you. I believe this should be nice and big. There we go. This is our Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery workflow. So what this is here is essentially showing you exactly how the process works. We're going to start number 1 right here, your normal workday. This is essentially you're just doing work, you're adding audio, you're scheduling logs, you're making SQL backups, all of that good stuff. Everything is automatically sent to Zetta Cloud. Because of site replication, we know that we're sharing all those things. So number 2 is Zetta Cloud. That's what actually receives all your logs, your voice tracks, all of that good stuff. That's there. It's essentially an idle waiting for you to enable. Now, number 3, disaster strikes. This could be whatever you think it could be. It's a disaster. It could be there's a fire at the station. It could be coronavirus and we're on self-quarantine. This could be cryptoware, ransomware, all that stuff. So essentially disaster strikes, and what you have to do is you have to essentially take your local network offline, right? So what we can do is we can essentially go to our phones, right? And we can enable the cloud. That's step 4. That's right here, and I'll show you just in a little bit here. And then once we have enabled in the cloud, we can then take down the local network for repair, to buy new machines, whatever it may be. But we're still on the air, right? We're still on the air broadcasting live with Zetta Cloud. We can voice track. There's logs there. We can add new audio. We can then, when everything is all good to go, we can then restore, number 5 here, our database locally. So we take the SQL backups, we restore them in there. And essentially, let's just say it's 11 a.m. here. So let's just say we restore our local network at Thursday at 11 a.m. What you can do is you can essentially, or what Zetta Cloud and Zetta proper does, is once we restore those backups, right where we are in the log, those are the first assets that Zetta will bring in the audio. So we'll start with 11 a.m., then we'll go to 12, and then it'll go to 1, 2, 3, until all of the audio and metadata is restored in Zetta. At that point in time, once you're back online, you can essentially go, disable the cloud and go back on your merry way. And again, you can have multiple users. So we had a question on here. What happens if you have multiple users in Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery? Everything here has a username and login. So mine is just my email. So I log into this URL at the very, very top. That's us.zettacloud.com. Depending on where you are, in the world, we have different URLs for you. But for me personally, this is kind of my AWS setup. So I log into us.zettacloud.com with my username and my password. I am authorized to view my Zetta Cloud account. If you have multiple users, we simply just give multiple emails and usernames and passwords. So multiple people can access the same exact database, making live changes, voice tracking, so on and so forth. So in regards, if you have a single or 5 or 10 users, you can definitely do that in Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. Everybody gets their login, everybody gets their password, and boom, there you go over here. So I thought for right now we would dive right in and talk about Zetta Cloud. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in here. And what you can see from Zetta Cloud is, again, the module-based Zetta software. This should look very familiar to you. Obviously, we have the same Zetta dev team that's working on Zetta proper. We have them also working on Zetta Cloud as well. And you can see here that I have my on-air module, my playlist module, and my library module down here at the very, very bottom. If I want to switch to one of these, I can just go here to the library, switch to, let's say, the voice tracker, and that's going to load up as well. We also have the same stations, so you can see here, there's my RCS Hot AC at the very top. I can switch to another station if I wanted to as well. That's in here. So I have 3 layouts right now. You can go to the layout tab at the very top. The layouts, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Again, this should look very, very similar to that of Zetta To Go because it essentially is. The only difference is that this is Zetta Cloud. It's written on Amazon Web Services versus the Zetta To Go software that is part of your Zetta proper package. And so you can see Dulupa New Rules is playing right now. I got everything queued up here. The red showing me that the element is fading out. You might have a slight visual delay on you just because it's a Facebook Live. And then from there, the yellow is going to be what the intro time is. Green is currently what's playing right now and progressing. You can see I can stop, I can play next, I can change the segue, I can eject. All that's done here from my Zetta Cloud on-air module. So let's just say I want to go and voice track, right? Down here is my playlist. Again, just like I had in Zetta To Go, I have my sync voice tracker. I have a filter over here if I wanted to just show my voice tracks and songs. I have a copy of the playlist. I have essentially a home button to show me where I am in the log right now. And I have the date range, and so I can pick the date that's here, as well as a timestamp that's here. I'm just going to pick 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. because I know for a fact I have unrecorded voice tracks in this hour. Don't forget, you don't need to have voice tracks in the log for both Zetta, Zetta To Go, and Zetta Cloud. Every transition can have a segue editor or have a voice track option to them. But for this purpose, I know I have empty voice tracks. So I'm just going to click on here And that's going to load up in a couple seconds. You'll see there's my heads, my voice track, and then my tails over here. I can control the width just like that. There's my station. I can change my mode too from essentially Segue Editor to that of a voice tracker. I can go and record this. WRCS FM, it is Nate. This is Walk the Moon and 1 Foot. So there's my voice track there. You can see I can move my intro times I wanted to, something along those like that. I can save my voice track just like that there. Again, very, very similar controls to that of Zetta To Go and Zetta Proper. This is going to save the voice track. And again, this voice track will be available in our audio as well because when we restore the database, it's going to restore this too. And so as of right now, again, in this environment here, this is essentially going to be, I am in disaster recovery mode, right? So essentially my local Zetta is going to be offline. This is going to be here, and I'm kind of working forward using Zetta Cloud. So if there is an issue, I'm on Zetta Cloud. This is the content that's actually broadcasting live over to your transmitter site, is this right here. So that voice track is going to save. I want to show you too just some different settings here in the config. We have some station settings. Zetta Cloud has an encoder built into it. So in case you're wondering, hey Nate, I get it. It's on AWS. It's a individual market. It's in the cloud. How does this get broadcasted over the air? And the question is however you want to broadcast it over the air. So by default, we have an encoder with Zetta To Go. Zetta Cloud. And that encoder is, again, a digital URL that can go wherever you want it to go. So off the bat, we probably would encourage you to maybe, take this URL stream and put it towards your transmitter site, right? There could be a machine somewhere in your transmitter site that goes right to your processing and goes to your transmitter. Boom, you're on the air. This could be just a stream URL. So I actually have my Zetta Cloud configured through Revma. Revma is our online streaming provider that we have as part of the RCS family of products. And what the cool thing about Revma is I can quickly duplicate streams and then export to multiple different sources. So I actually have my Zetta Cloud reversed in the sense that I have Zetta Cloud getting sent to Revma. And then the Revma stream, I have multiple outputs to send to different locations and different sources, which again is a pretty cool tool. So if you want to incorporate Revma into this, you can do that as well. And then, now we're talking about Revma. That's your streaming provider. That's what's playing the stream. Wherever that goes, boom, there you go. You're back online as well. Again, very, very cool. Any questions? Don't forget, it is Nate. We're here doing our Facebook Live series, question and answers in the world of remote workflows. We're covering any RCS product you want to cover, so that includes G selectors, next gen, Zetta To Go, Zetta cloud-based disaster recovery, some Acquira stuff, Acquira To Go if you want to do that too. We can talk about anything you want to talk about in regards of RCS. Having these kind of open office hours and just kind of showing all the good stuff around, and here to answer your questions too. So any questions, let me know, and I can go and help those out and answer those questions for you. So we talked about Zetta Cloud and Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. This is the on-air module. This is the playlist. This is the voice tracker. You can see here Nate Mumford voice tracked RCS Hot AC at 11:19 a.m. on 2/24/9. That's all there. That's saved. That has access. Let's jump to how about the library for a second. And I believe I'll just go just to kind of visual purpose. I'll show you the system monitor down here as well. Remember that system monitor? And that's the same exact thing from Zetta To Go. Kind of a snapshot of what everything looks like. Okay. Nope. I'm just making sure that I was broadcasting live there too. So you can see here's my RCS Hot A stream. It's online. It's not down. That's the player. It's fine. Sequencer is healthy. I can redeploy here, take offline, or stream it. Again, this is where I would essentially activate my stream. That would be on my cell phone as well if I wanted to activate that. At the very, very top, you might notice this white space here. And you might think to yourself, Nate, that looks broken. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but that doesn't look right. It's not. It's totally fine. The reason why it's white space is because we have bandwidth. Don't forget, this is Amazon Web Services. This is a URL. This is an internet web page. Why would we go and try to load, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 assets in our library when we don't have to? That's pretty much what it is. We want to make Zetta Cloud as efficient as possible and have the best performance, and by doing so, we essentially don't need to load data we don't care about. So I'm in my library here, it's all fine. Okay, I want to look at my songs. I just click songs. And now I'm telling Zetta Cloud, okay, show me the songs, display them, let me see them. You can see that I have 100 items per page. I can change that if I want to more. And I can also cycle through my pages here if I wanted to. I have 166 assets in my Zetta Cloud environment. You can see here, these are my stations in the top right. I can jump to all audio or station-specific audio. I have all of my asset types right here. Those are all my asset types. And if I want to, let's say, add a song, you can see I'm in the song tab, create an asset type of song. If I jump to spots, I can add a spot in here as well. So going back to songs just for 1 second, I'm just going to click here. I'm going to add a brand new song. This process, by the way, is almost identical in Zetta to Go. So in case you're tuning in right now and you're like, okay, Zetta Cloud, great. I have to get that and get it installed and all that. But, I have Zetta Cloud right now. I want you just for right now for this exercise, you can definitely treat this as the same exact process in Zetta to Go, which is very, very cool. So if you're tuning in, you want to know how it's done in Zetta to Go, this is exactly how you add an element, an asset in Zetta to Go. The only difference is just kind of the visualization of this display window. It's just slightly different. But again, it's all cosmetic. Overall, it's the same exact process. So you can see here, there's an extra tab. I can go over here to this import section right here, click on import. And that's going to bring me my Window Explorer to find any kind of assets I want to open up. I know for a fact, I think on my desktop, I have this built for the broadcaster here. I'll just add that in there. Hit open. And you can see it's going to upload this asset here. Now I have option for title, artist, duration, length. That's all in here. I can check my stations that it's active on. And once I save it, I'll be able to go and set the marks, the fade in, early seg, the fade out. I can play it, I can preview it, and I also have some station-specific data like start dates, end dates, end dates. And I can click on here to show you, I believe this will activate it. So you can see a little better start date, end date, display title, display artist. That's all in here as well. So the same exact thing works with Zetta to Go. I go to my extra tab. There's a little Windows Explorer icon that I can go and essentially drag that in. Again, in Zetta to Go, you can drag an audio, or you can actually use your file here to import. In Zetta to Go, we can't record audio directly into the metadata window, and that's a reason for that. But what we can do is use any kind of, we can voice track, that puts in the library automatically, or we can use something like, Audition or Audacity or some kind of free recording software where you simply just go record it on there, and then drag it into Zetta to Go, save the asset, and then we're good to go. Now, again, you can also do voice tracks. That's recording direct automatically. Or again, you can record on some kind of third party, something even free like Audacity, and drag in the asset. That's good to put in here. In regards to Zetta to Go, don't forget, if you bring in an asset into Zetta to Go, it still respects that audio analysis done on Zetta proper. So it will normalize it or EQ it for you, depending on how you have that configured. Checking some comments here. Of course, don't forget, you can always comment on our page. As of right now, so the question here was, is the system monitor under individual users' rights? As of right now, the system monitors for everybody. That's what we have right now. We're getting more user rights as we continue on. We just kind of get the good stuff here too. Like, so for example, hotkeys. That's coming down the pipeline for Zetta Cloud. It's not there yet. It's coming down the pipeline. I like to remember people that, again, this is phase 1 of RCS Cloud. That's Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. Phase 2, that's going to be really Zetta Cloud automation. Yeah, Zetta Cloud automation. That's a key word there to point out. Let's see here. So we recorded, we added brand new audio in the library. I can show all my assets here. We did a voice track and a playlist. Good to go there. And yeah, so any questions? But anybody wants to chime in here? I'm seem kind of quiet for today, but I can go in and answer any questions you want. I can go towards Zetta to go. I can go towards Selector to go. It's kind of your choice how you want to take this. And let's see here. So one thing, before I forget, I know I want to talk about too. Again, just to remind everybody, we're doing this twice a week. Probably next Monday, I'll send a Facebook invite to all those who want to attend. Probably, we'll see, I don't know the time off the top of my head right now, but it'll probably be Monday. And then we'll have our usual Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. All times are Eastern, so in case you're interested, I'll be here to answer any questions you might have. One thing I want to bring up before I forget is our RCS remote workflows with Cloud Playout RCS Disaster Recovery. As you can see, that is our Zetta Cloud. I was just kind of demoing it over there. You can add assets, you can add audio, you can add, there's schedules in there already, and you can voice track as well, SQL backups. If you're interested, don't forget, the world of cryptoware is not going away anytime soon, even though it's COVID-19. It's still going to be around. I was saying earlier, I had two of my clients I know of that got hit with ransomware, one over the weekend, one last week. So friendly reminder to back up your stuff. I know, I sound like a broken record every week, but back up your stuff. That includes, I was telling friends of mine, I back up my Outlook personally. I mean, I just back up everything. It's just a smart thing to do. For our Selector users, Selector 12, 15, and G Selector, just so you know, we do have a data exchange recovery console. It's it's in there. We've talked about beforehand, but in case you don't know, we do have here at RCS, we will always maintain a recovery data exchange for you. And what that means is if you send yourself a data exchange backup, that's kind of, again, the cloud, it's the email form of your backup. And if you send yourself a backup, we take, after 7 days, we take the most recent backup data exchange you have and save it to your call letters. Again, those are call letter specific. So if you ever get into a jam like cryptoware, whatever it is, we do have some ways to restore your database for you. I mean, I've had great stories of I remember early on, I had one woman called me up because her cat peed on her laptop. It's a true story. Yeah, her cat peed on her laptop. She was using Selector version 12, and sure enough, boom, fried the entire machine. She lost all her databases, and luckily for her, we had taken a data exchange backup just a couple days earlier. I went in, got the data exchange for her, resent it back to her email, and then she was back up and running after a couple hours. So, friendly reminder to go and definitely check your backups. That's very, very important. Okay, so we'll get that 1 second, dive to the next gen. So I just want to kind of reiterate one again, the RCS Disaster Recovery. We got a great special going on right now for as little as $99 per month. You can get RCS Cloud and Zetta Cloud-based Disaster Recovery. And if you do sign up now, if you're a new client or a new Zetta Cloud client, you get a free Zetta to Go license. That's right. And remember, the Zetta Go license acts as like a seat. So if you wanted to go and, have multiple users, you can access, multiple users can have access to the same exact seat. Just so you know, we sell them usually individually, or we have a discount for 5-packs if you wanted to. I know that a lot of users we had essentially chiming in saying, hey, I had a couple here, but now I have 10 people working from home. I need more seats. This is a great way to both securely and efficiently back up your database to the cloud while getting a free Zetta to Go license on top of that, which is a really, really cool deal. So if you're interested in that, reach out to your local RCS sales representative. We're here to answer any of your questions, configurations, all of that good stuff. Don't forget, too, you can upgrade your next-gen machines to Zetta machines. So if you, obviously there's some more flexibility there. We're talking about Zetta to Go. I guess I can log out of here and I can open my Zetta to Go. That's pretty fair, right? And I'll just load this out here. Again, this is our splash page right now for Zetta Cloud and RCS Cloud-based Disaster Recovery. I'll go to my my Zetta to Go as we kind of chat and log in here. Don't forget, you have some flexibility in next gen, but you have a lot more power and flexibility with that of Zetta. So if you do have a next gen system and your hardware is kind of on its last legs and you're looking to kind of talk about more options, definitely should have a conversation about Zetta to Go. because Zetta to Go is, obviously our latest and greatest automation software. It's not a brand new piece of software. It's 10 plus years old. In fact, one of the recent versions we've had is mostly enhancements, which is showing you the stability of the product itself. And there's a lot of great options there too for you. In regards to Zetta to Go, you have the same logins as you would beforehand. So mine is just supervisor on my Zetta to Go. I'm going to log in here. And again, you'll see kind of a great, flexible, efficient experience. So whereas next gen, you might have to VNC in, for Zetta to Go, you can just simply go and have seats, as I was saying earlier. You have multiple seats. You can go in here and then just access everything and make sure that you can control your station. You can add new elements. You can run hotkeys. All of this is done, by the way, from Zetta to Go linked with Zetta proper. So if I have multiple users using Zetta to Go, I can control the station. I can add elements. I can go and voice track. That's all done through here in Zetta to Go. And again, talking about Zetta Cloud, you might look at this and see it's very, very familiar. We have the on-air module, we have the log module, we have the hotkeys module here right now. If I go to my layout, I can change my layout here. And let's say I'll put this, instead of hotkeys, I'll call this the library. And I'll put my system monitor up here. Let's just say for argument's sake. And you can see here that essentially this will load up over here, answering some questions. Yes, so for clients that are looking to install, the question was, is we have somebody who is looking to, they're getting a brand new Zetta system, or if you're getting a brand new next-gen system, whatever it may be. One of the things we're doing here at RCS, following the social distancing protocol, is we're doing phone installations now. So just want to point out, we do have them scheduled. We still have users who are installing brand new software. So if you're worried about, you have some hardware dying, or if you're looking to get your Zetta install, just be aware here at RCS, it's kind of business as usual for us. Again, I've been promoting these to-go products for years. It just so happens that, all of a sudden everybody calls in and says, I need, more Zetta to-go licenses. They're already equipped to broadcast live. They just need more seats. And we can do that with Zetta to Go. And if you are looking for a new Zetta system or a new next-gen system, whatever it may be, we still have our field technician services, are still installing all of those things. The only difference is we're doing phone interviews and over-the-phone installations now than rather being on site. Again, that's to follow social distancing and all of that good stuff. So if you are curious about getting a new Zetta system and you're worried about getting the installation process done, we still have them lined up. We're installing them as we speak. We're just doing it over the phone with the engineers rather than being on site. So you can see here again for Zetta to Go, our system monitor. I have one station. I have 3 stations in here, but I have one enabled because if I didn't, I would have 3 input sources at any given time, and I would go crazy. So instead, you can see here, this is my RCS Hot AC. I like showing the system monitor. One of the things I also kind of talk about, because we have a lot of people who are kind of just sitting at home and looking for something to do. Don't forget, we have RCS Academy. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up very quickly. I don't think I've talked about this in the past couple of weeks here. We do have an RCS Academy. That includes right now a G Selector certification course, and we have Zetta coming down the pipeline as well. It's being beta right now as we speak. And you can see here, this is just RCS Academy at rcsworks.com. And again, it's an online self-paced course. And what that means is you get a username and a password. You log into the RCS Academy. And we have, I think it's 10 or 11 courses. And the way it works is, like, for example, in G Selector, the first course is the library. We show you a couple of videos. Make sure you click through to kind of view and pay attention, digest the information. We then give you a knowledge check, which is a quick 5-second quiz, just making sure you digested the information you just watched. And then from there, when you finish the course, you got to take a final quiz. So in order to take the very next course, you have to take and pass the final quiz. Once you pass that quiz, next course opens up and you can take more of the courses. So as I said, there's about 11 or 13, if I'm not mistaken, in G Selector. When you're done, you get this very cool pin because you are G Selector certified, which is awesome. And from there, you can put that on your LinkedIn profile, put that on your resume. So if you do have any, let's say, employers are looking to check and see, oh, this one user is G Selector certified under his skills. If you're an employer, you can always reach out to RCS. We have a master list of those who have completed it. And you can say, hey, has this user done it? Yes, they have. Great. We're good to go. It's a really cool piece of software because we want you to have, if you're a basic user, you never used music scheduling software beforehand, we want to show you how that looks. And then if you're an intermediate or advanced G Selector user, you might find some things you didn't know existed. And again, the concept here is you will never use something you don't know, because how do you know to use it if no one ever taught it to you? I know it's a kind of wordy sentence, but again, the concept is if you didn't know this thing existed in G Selector and nobody showed you, how would you know where it is? So we do a deep dive into G Selector, but we never try to tell you what your music philosophy is. Instead, we try to apply that to the G Selector course. So for example, if I want to do recycling in G Selector, for example, I'm not going to say you want to take your midday shift and put it in the overnights. No. That's music philosophy. That's what you care about. Instead, what this course does is we talk about, hey, this is where recycling is. This is the day parts that you can pick. This is how it performs, and this is the outcome you'll see. And you want to get this little checkbox usually there too. So that's in there in case you're interested. That's G Selector certification under RCS Academy. As I said, we have Zetta Academy coming very, very soon. It's in beta right now. And that sparked me because I just did a video on Zetta to Go talking about the benefits of the system monitor. Specifically, this data here, you can see exactly the status of your station, what kind of mode it's in, what kind of airtime it's in, the gap time. The stream here is really important because that's where it is in the board. So I have 1C. I know for a fact for me, that's the third channel on my board back in White Plains. And then from there, I have what item is on the air, what it's doing, playing, all that good stuff. I have a snapshot of my available space, as well as my content stores, my audio and backup stores online up and running here. So again, Zetta to Go, just like Zetta Cloud, it's very, very powerful. I'll edit these layouts here. I'll go to my on-air module, my logs, and I'll pick my IVT down here. IVT just stands for Internet Voice Tracker, just so you know, because again, you're voice tracking, but it's on the internet, thus the IVT. And you can see here, I'll just jump to, again, I know 11 p.m. at night, I have these empty voice tracks in here. So I'll just jump to 11, see if I can't do a quick voice track for you while we're talking here. Again, any questions, you can feel free to comment below. That's on here. I'm going to go, let's see, I have my two things. Yes. Okay. There's my heads. There's my voice track. There's my tails. There's options here for expanded view. So if I wanted to go over here, I can always go and record this. I can just do test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hit record again. That's all good. And I can save this down here, and that's going to reflect also on Zetta to Go, as well as my Zetta proper down here. So if I open my Zetta proper, you'll see that same voice track will appear. I know why it's doing that, because I have my VPN changed my IP address. That's why it's having that little quirk. So yeah, you can see it popping down below at 11 p.m. That's going to jump in there, that little voice track there. When I get the VPN fixed, that will go ahead and content manage over there too. So yeah, I just want to kind of show you some things here in regards to the voice tracker. Again, I can add this layout here, and I can jump to, different modules, library. I guess I can do that, right? I guess I can go, I'll do the library here, save layout. I just want to show you again, as we were saying beforehand, what this looks like. I'm just going to open up my Best of Morning Show, legal top of the hour here. Again, it is Nate. We're doing this live questions and answers in regards to remote workflows. If you have any desired workflow you want to pay attention, let me know. I can demonstrate it for you here, now, afterwards. You can direct message us. I'll do that too. And we'll make sure we get you taken care of during all this crazy time. So again, you can see this metadata link. Again, it's a link because I opened up the link asset tab. And you can see this is almost identical to that of Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. I have my marks down here. I have hooks. I have loops. There's my actual asset. I have my stations, title sponsors. The extra tab, this is what I was talking about earlier. You can now go and click to browse, or again, you can drag and drop an asset into this metadata window, and that's going to save your file right from here. There's some playback methods if you wanted to. There's also station specific. So I have start date, end date, category, all that good stuff. So that's in here. So if you want to do an asset, you would drag and drop into here or use Window Explorer. That would save it from here as well. So I've been talking now for about 45 minutes. I think I'll do last call for questions. If anyone wants to do that, I'm going to check my phone here very quickly to make sure that I'm not missing anything on my story here. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, if you do have any questions, let me know. I can answer them for you. As I said, direct message. We'll do another one of these on Monday, just so you know. I just want to make sure I'm not experiencing any technical difficulties here on my end. Oop, there you go. That's a nice delay there. Cool, great. So yeah, I'll do last call for questions. Anything you want to get in there, we can definitely do that. Again, we were talking today mostly about Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery, showcasing some Zetta Go features as well. And of course, today what's new is the RCS Academy. G-Selector, that's in there if you want more. Should we tell him, Di, who the mystery guest is next week, or should we just save the mystery guest? I'll let you figure that out if you want to. Yeah, we're doing another session Monday. We'll figure out a time. I'll send you out a Facebook invite, and we'll go from there. You'll find that on our Facebook page, RCS Sound Software. And then, of course, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll do that every single week as well. Next week, we do have a special mystery guest. Chip Jellison is going to be on next week. That's our big announcement. Our CTO, creator of NextGen and all of that. Chip will be on next week. I think we're shooting for Thursday, if not mistaken, of next week, which is going to be pretty cool. Yes, we're very excited. So Chip is going to be in here. He's been watching our Facebook Lives and wanted to join in. And so if you have any questions for Chip, which is just an incredible wealth of information, you definitely want to check that out. And we'll have a whole Facebook invite for you, too, to remind you what's going on. But Chip, our CTO, is going to be on. We're really, really excited for it. He's going to show us some really cool features, and especially with Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. I've been teasing that, phase 1 is Zetta Cloud-based disaster recovery. Phase 2 is Zetta Cloud automation. And that's what Chip has been doing for the past couple of years, is working on that. And so there's some really, really cool industry stuff that's coming down the pipeline in regards to workflows, and especially broadcasting remotely. And it's going to be a really cool video and a Facebook Live you don't want to miss. So get your questions in for that. Again, Chip Jellison will be on here with us next week. And just to remind everybody, too, before I forget, we do have the disaster recovery, again, for Zetta Cloud, for as little as $99 a month. You can set up now and get one free as that loads back up. And that's one free Zetta to Go license, but don't forget that counts as a seat, right? A Zetta to Go seat. So that means if you have 5 users, all 5 of those users can access Zetta to Go with that one license. They just obviously can only use that one seat at a time. So they can use it all concurrently if they want to. But that's in there too. So if you're interested in that, definitely reach out to your local RCS sales representative. And just reminding you too, if you're interested in Zetta, or if you have a NextGen install, whatever it may be, for us here at RCS, it's kind of business as usual. So we're just doing phone installations rather than going to be on site. But we have some. We've been doing it for the past couple of weeks and been doing more in the upcoming weeks too. So just be aware if you are interested in that. It's, again, business as usual to help you out. And again, next week, Chip Jellison is going to be on here too, which is going to be very, very exciting. He's our CTO of RCS, creator of NextGen, Zetta Cloud, all that good stuff. So we're really excited to have him on. Again, we'll have some Facebook invites all over there too. Last call for questions. Otherwise, of course, as usual, live rcsworks.com. You can direct message us. You can comment on these videos afterwards. I'll go through and try to answer them one more time. And any questions or any topics you want covered in the future, let us know. And we'll do it probably, I'm thinking Monday. And then we'll have next Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll go from there. So any questions for me, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Be safe. Keep your social distancing. All that good stuff. Wash your hands. You've heard it beforehand. Be safe, though. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.